Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachanane Vishesha Shunyavadi Pasyate Sthane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll continue reading the book. এই শ্লোকের অর্থকর পণ্ডিতেরা গণ সবে কহে তুমি কাহা অর্থ বিবরণ. He placed a verse before all the learned scholars present, but the learned scholars asked him to state the purport of the verse. हरिदास कहे न ऐसे सूर्यर उदय न हेते आरंभे तमे अक्षया. Haridas Thakur said that as the sun begins to rise, it dissipates the darkness of night, even before the sunshine is visible. Yes. चौरप्रेता रक्षादिरा भया हयनाशा उदय हैले dharma karma adi parakasha. Before the sunrise even takes place, the light of dawn destroys the fear of the dangers of the night, such as disturbances by thieves, ghosts, and rakshasas. And when the sunshine actually appears, one engages in his duties. ऐछे नमोदयारंभे पापादिरक्षया Uda Kaile Krishna Pade Haye Premodaya. Similarly, even before one's chanting of the holy name is pure, one is freed from all sinful reactions. And when he chants purely, he becomes a lover of Krishna. मुक्ति तुच्छ फल हया नाम भाषा है ते ये mukti bhakta nalaya se Krishna chahe dite. A devotee never accepts mukti, even if Krishna offers it. Mukti, freedom from all sinful reactions, is obtained even by namabhasha, or a glimpse of the light of the holy name before its full light is perfectly visible. The namabhasa stage is between that of nama parad, or chanting of the holy name with offenses, and pure chanting. There are three stages in chanting the holy name of the Lord. In the first stage, one commits 10 kinds of offenses while chanting. In the next stage, Namabhasa, the offenses have almost stopped, and one is coming to the platform of pure chanting. In the third stage, when one chants the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, his dormant love for Krishna immediately awakens. This is the perfection. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 24, Verse 20. Those who are not Narayana Para, pure devotees, must be disturbed by this duality of the material world, whereas devotees who are simply attached to the service of the Lord are not at all disturbed by it. For example, Haridas Thakur was bitten with cane in 22 bazars, but he was never disturbed. Instead, he smilingly tolerated the beating. Despite the disturbing dualities of the material world, devotees are not disturbed at all because they fix their minds on the lotus feet of the Lord and concentrate on the holy name of the Lord. They do not feel the so called pains and pleasures caused by the dualities of this material world. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Verse 29. Narad Muni is a great saint and is transcendentally situated. Therefore, although he was a young man, he could give shelter to a young woman and accept her service. Haridas Thakur also spoke with a young woman, a prostitute, in the dead of night, but the woman could not deviate his mind. Instead, she became a Vaishnavi, a pure devotee by the benediction of Haridas Thakur. Ordinary persons, however, should not imitate such highly elevated devotees. Ordinary persons must strictly observe the rules and regulations by staying aloof from the association of women. No one should imitate Narada Muni or Haridas Thakur. It is said, Vaisnavara Kriya Mudra Vigye Na Bujaya. Even if a man is very advanced in learning, he cannot understand the behavior of a Vaishnava. Anyone can take shelter of a pure Vaishnava without fear. Therefore, in the previous verse, it has been distinctly said, Devar ser antike sakuto bhaya. Kayadu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, stayed under the protection of Narada Muni without fear from any direction. Similarly, Narada Muni, in his transcendental position, stayed with the young woman without fear of deviation. Narada Muni, Haridas Thakur, and similar acharyas, especially empowered to broadcast the glories of the Lord, cannot be brought down to the material platform. Therefore, one is strictly forbidden to think that the Acharya is an ordinary human being. Gurushu Naramatihi. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, Verse 14. One who restrains the senses and organs of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 6. One should act for Krishna very seriously in order to become fully Krishna conscious and should not sit down to imitate such great personalities as Haridas Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur condemned such imitation. He said, Dustamana tumi kisera Vaishnava दुष्टमना तुम्ही किसेर वैष्णव प्रतिष्ठार तारे निर्जनेर घरे तव हरिनाम केवला कैतव. My dear mind, what kind of devotee are you? Simply for cheap adoration, you sit in a solitary place and pretend to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but this is all chanting. Recently at Mayapur, an African devotee wanted to imitate Haridas Thakur. But after 15 days, he became restless and went away. Do not suddenly try to imitate Haridas Thakura. Engage yourself in Krishna conscious activities and gradually you will come to the stage of liberation. Muktir hitva hitvan yatha rupam sarupena vyavasthitihi. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, verse 6. The Acharya's duty, therefore, is to find the means by which devotees may render service according to references from Shastra. Rupa Goswami, for example, in order to help subsequent devotees, published such devotional books as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Thus, it is the duty of the Acharya to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. In our Krishna consciousness movement, the same path is being prescribed and followed. Thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from four sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions because in the Western countries, constant chanting is not possible. One should not artificially imitate Haridas Thakur but should follow the regulative principles and the method prescribed in the various books and literatures published by the authorities. The Acharya gives the suitable method for crossing the ocean of science by accepting the boat of the Lord's lotus feet. And if this method is strictly followed, the followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This method is called Acharya Sampradaya. It is therefore said, Sampradaya Bihina E Mantraste Nisfala Mataha Padma Puran. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide. Therefore, one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya. Otherwise, one's endeavor will be futile. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore sings, तांधेर चरण से विभक्त सनेवासा जन्म जन्म है अभिलाषा. One must worship the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees. Then one's endeavor to cross over science will surely be successful. I'll stop here reading the book. So few understandings from today's reading is we should not, first of all, we should not imitate great acharyas and great Vaishnavas like Haridas Thakur, Narada Muni, um, because they are already empowered by the Lord to for preaching. So we should not imitate them. Like so many examples are given. Like Haridas Thakur, one prostitute came, to provoke him, but Haridas Thakur was not, he was not at all affected. Similarly, Narada Muni also, he was giving Prahlad Maharaj's mother Kayadu, she was taking shelter at Narada Muni's ashram, but like it, nothing was affected, not Kayadu nor Narada Muni, because they have that power, but ordinary human beings should not try to imitate them, and we should try to follow the prescribed rules and regulations, the four regulative principles, that no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, and no intoxication. We have to follow the rules and regulations. Slow, gradually, we have to, like, we are not in that stage, so we have to. For us, it's a gradual process, and it's also mentioned that devotees, they don't want liberation. And there are three different stages of the like chanting. First is nama parad, then nama vas, then pure chanting. So now, like in the beginning, we while chanting, we do like 10 kinds of offenses. That's we are in nama parad stage, but slowly, it's a gradual process, and gradually will improve, and when we'll come to a stage that is namavas, we'll develop love for the Lord without offenses. Then pure chanting, there is no, simply there is love for the Lord, no offenses at all. Yeah, and yeah, devotees don't want liberation. Then Haridas Thakur, even though he was beaten in 22 bajas, 22 marketplaces, still he never stopped chanting. And we should not try to imitate. Example is given that in Mayapur, one African devotee tried to imitate Haridas Thakur, but after 15 days, he became restless. Yes, that's true, because we are not in that stage, neither we are empowered. So we should not try to imitate, like schedules of different acharyas. Like we have seen Bhakti Vinod Thakur also. His schedule, as he was like sleeping just only for 3 to 4 hours. We should not imitate them. They are like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He is a Manjari, and like they are in another level. We are in different levels, so we should not try to imitate those great Vaishnavas. Yeah, these are a few understandings.